red light is on, microphone's on. We are going to give this another try. I am going to recreate the makeup look that I was wearing in a previous video. It is using brand new, released today or yesterday on the House of Sillage site. The Disney Mickey and Minnie collection. You get this beautiful makeup bag. It's gorgeous. And we are going to be using the blush highlighter, the eyeshadow quint. We are going to use one of the lipsticks. It does come with two. One's a Playful red, one's a Playful nude. I'm going to wear the nude because that is what I had on the other day. And the collection also has a beautiful fragrance. I am working this sample here. It is very, very pretty. And there is a lip gloss to the collection. So to save time during this video, I have already applied my primer, which is the Tatcha primer. Everything will be listed and linked below for you. Foundation today is the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue. Color will be below. On the eyelids, just to take away some of the redness, I applied the Touche Éclat High Coverage Radiant Concealer in number 3, I think it is. But again, that will be listed below for you. Powder is Face Atelier because I am loving it and I love saying the name Face Atelier. Love it. All right, so that's my powder. Concealer under the eyes is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. I really do like it. And all applied with a beauty sponge because that's my preferred method. On the eyebrows, I am using the Anastasia Brow Wiz. Color will be below. And to cover the pesky little whites that I have growing in my very, very overgrown eyebrows, I have them all sealed in place, but if I let them run wild, it's like a forest growing on my forehead. So this really works well at not only taming them, but covering up the whites. A lot of people will say, well, why don't you just color your eyebrows? I have, but the whites do not want to accept the formula. All right, so I think that is all you need to know for now. We are going to get started. I should be a pro at this because this is my third time doing it now. We are first going to start with the quint. This is gorgeous, my friends. Look at those beautiful colors. It really reminds me of a Christian Dior palette. Just beautiful, except for it's much bigger. So you're getting more product here. But it does come with some beautiful, beautiful rosy shades. So we're going to use that. I'm also going to use the blush and highlighter, which is a beautiful rosy tone in the blush. And then the highlighter is a very neutral shade, so I think many can wear it. And then we're going to finish it off with one of the lipsticks, and I will share those when we get closer to the lips. All right, we're going to start with the eyes now, and they do come in these beautiful little pouches. All right, so we are going to go into the palette. I'm going to be using a rougher number 1 brush. These are my most favorite brushes. I love them. I am going to just pick up a little bit of this color here. And I just need a small amount of it because I'm going to place this right on the inner eye. And for video purposes, I'm going to do one eye and then I will go off and come back and both eyes will be done. So I'm just going to place this right in the inner corner and just slightly out. And then I'm just going to work it, flip the brush over and really kind of soften it and distribute it to only the inner eye. So that's what we're looking at. It does have a satin finish, but it does not have any glitter. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. This is where I will disappear for a moment and then I will be back. Okay, so both eyes are done just on the inner corner. And these are very pigmented. A little goes a long way. And if you're using a really good brush, it will really just diffuse it out beautifully. I'm going to go into this beautiful plum shade right here. And I'm going to go in with the rougher number 2 brush. And I'm just going to pick up enough product. You'll see it really picks up nicely. And then I'm just going to tap both sides on my hand just for any fallout. And I'm going to go ahead and place this all in the center. I'm going right up to the crease line, but not above. Overlapping that white just slightly. Concentrating most of the color into the center of the eye. Pick up a little bit more. Pack that on. These have a beautiful satin finish. They're gorgeous. They really are. This is my third time working with them, and I'm really impressed with them. So now I'm going to just put a little bit more right here. I don't want to go right into the outer corner. I'm going to use a different color there, but I do want to apply just enough because we are going to blend and soften. Again, turn the brush this angle if you're working with this brush or a flat brush, and just tap it to the crease. You don't want to go this way because then you're bringing it up too high. We are going to soften with a blending brush, but you don't want to have too much product. All right, so this is what it should look like. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there is both eyes. Concentrating it right in the center. Now I'm going to go in with the Rephr number 15, and I'm going to just work it along the crease line. I'm not lifting up and I'm not going towards the lid at all. I'm just softening this line and blending it just slightly to the inner. It gives you just enough product if you do this way. There was nothing on this brush when I started. And then just lightly flare it up to diffuse some of that so it's a more even look. And then I'm going to just lightly touch where the two meet just to blend it or soften it out a little bit. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do until I come back. It's blended and softened just slightly. So now I'm going to go in with my Rephr, where is my little dome brush? Here it is. This is the Rephr number 12 brush. It is a dome brush, very easy to work with on the outer corner. It really helps you to just get that placement right where you want it. So I'm going to go into the deeper plum, and I'm going to pick some of that up on my brush. Okay, I'm going to touch it on my hand. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to place it up and down, right to the lash line. Notice I'm not dragging it down at all. You want to be really careful with that. So start from the outer corner, right where you want to place it, and just press it in. But you don't want to go too far. We don't want that dark going into the center. We do want them to overlap, but we don't want it to overpower. So start out with a small amount on your brush and then just tap it back in more color until you get it the intensity you want. Notice I'm tapping it into the crease, the lower part of the crease. I'm not going up on the bone. So it should look something like this before you start to blend it. So step back and look at it, and that is exactly where I wanted it. I want to put just a bit more color towards the lash line. Okay, so that is what it should look like. Let me go ahead and do the other eye, and then we will come back and blend it down. Okay, so that's what it will look like before you go in with your blending brush. So I'm going to pick up another, this is the number 1. And I'm just going to turn it on its side. I don't want it the wide way. I want to do side right when I'm in the crease here, and I'm just going to soften that down. This is my favorite brush with Rephr, the number 1 brush, because you can use it for many things. Now notice when I get to the corner, I am flaring it up a little bit. Now I want to just, this bone, some of us who have deeper set eyes, which I do, but I think that the microcurrent is really helping to lift the eye area. I've been using it for so many years, and now I'm using the Truth Energy Unit, and it is awesome, my friends. All right, so now I want to take that, and I'm just going to fan that color up lightly. Notice the position where I'm holding the brush towards the tail end of the brush, because when you hold it towards the tail end, it's a weaker pressure. So that's what you want to work with. If you get in there and you start doing like this, you're going to just muddy out the colors. All right, so now I've blended it down. I want to put just a touch more towards the lash line. And then I'll go in with that same brush and just feather over it, just to soften the line where it meets the center color. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's all blended down. I'll do the other side and be right back. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And now to finish it up, I'm going to go in with this pinkier tone here. And I'm going to pick just a small amount of this up on the brush. I'm going to tap into my hand with it. And then I want to soften that white a little bit because it's just a little harsh for me. So I'm just going to place that pink over the white, but I'm not going into the most inner corner. I'm just lightly feathering it over that white. And I'm bringing it to the inner crease and just feathering it into the middle color. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And I'll go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll come back and finish up the eyes. So now if you want to really lift this area up just a little bit, I'm going to go into that pink, and I'm putting it on a clean number 15 from Refer. And I'm just going to tap that onto my hand because you don't want too much color. And then just look straight ahead and kind of lean your head back and just lift up that outer bone area, just slightly. And that will just give you a little bit of an eye lift right on the outer corner. But you have to be careful with it because it is a satin finish. If you need to incorporate a matte rosy tone, something that is equivalent, or maybe even a little bit softer, just to lift that little bone area up, okay? So that is pretty much the upper part of the eyes. So now I'm going to go in with the number 2 again, and I'm just going to take some of that deeper plum that I was using. You know what? Let's use, this is a brand new brush from them. Let's go ahead and use it. This is the number 26. It came in that set I talked about in my new things video, and I'm just going to pick some of this up on the tip. That's what's nice. It's a dome, but it has a tip to it. And then, of course, I don't want any fallout, so I'll just touch it lightly. And let's go ahead and see how that works. Beautiful. It's just placing enough color and then always, always sweep up in the corner, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put some of that on the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the eyeshadow is pretty much done. I love it. I absolutely love this palette. I hope that she comes out with more. I hope this is a huge success for her, and she comes out with more because this is just gorgeous. You can use it so many ways. You could just use this all over the lid. You could use this all over the lid. And there is a really close look at the palette. It is beautiful, my friends. Gorgeous. All right, so for my eyes, I went in with the FitGlow Mulberry. These are new pencils to me. I got the mulberry and the bronze, and they are beautiful. So what I did, because I don't really like to wear a lot of mascara on the lower lashes, I just think it ages my eye, or it's just too much. It's overpowering. But I do like to put some shadow underneath, and every now and then I like to line the water line versus the tight line. So this is the mulberry, and it is gorgeous. I'm just going to go ahead and sweep this along, and I'm actually brushing along the lower lash. Nice face I'm making. Because what this will do is it will give you the perfect amount of color underneath the eye, or liner, I should say, under the eye. And then I just take it and I go right in the corner here, just a small V. These go on really easy, but look at what it does for the eye. It just gives it a very sultry look. It's beautiful, it's classy, it's elegant, it can be edgy. It really does add a lot to the look. So that is Mulberry by FitGlow Beauty. And you know I have a FreezeCo beauty code, Tammy20, that'll save you 20% off on those. So this is really, really a nice pencil. Let me go ahead and do the other side before I forget. So that is the liner. I do have a funny story to tell you in a few minutes, but I'm going to make you wait on that. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my bronzer and blush. Now, many of you have been saying you are looking younger and younger. I have been using different skincare, and I think my skin has really improved 100%. It was a struggle for a little while there with menopause. But I have also, this is one thing I think, this is in my humble opinion. I think things that age a woman, we all age, and I am grateful to be aging, because if I wasn't, it would mean I was dead, and then I wouldn't be here in this video. But as women, we have to change because our faces change. We lose volume, so therefore our face sags. And the cheekbones will drop slightly, or it'll really flatten out right in here. So if you are wearing your makeup the same way you wore it when you were 20 or even 30 or 40, it's really not going to benefit you or enhance your new face in the way that it should. So placement, changing the placement of things is very important. Remember when we were young, we could wear our eyeshadow. We didn't have to be so careful about dragging it down on the sides. You didn't have to think about always working up. Many of us did, but you really didn't have to because your eyes were already up. So for me, I have been playing around a lot with placement. And I have a new way that I'm wearing my blush and my bronzer. So I'm going to share that with you today. I'm going to let you in on an anti-aging makeup tip, okay? All right, so this is a very dense brush, and I want it that way because I don't want my product to really spread. So it is the number 24 from Refer. Now this is an old contour from Dior. This is the Backstage. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up this color right here as my contour. And we have been taught that your contour, you always placed it right about here, top of the ear coming down, or fish face. And that's where we would place our contour. Well, that was okay when our cheeks were standing at attention. They were right where they were supposed to be. Not so much anymore. I have lost a ton of volume right here, and I have very prominent cheekbones. The structure of my actual bone underneath, I do have very high cheekbones. But I have noticed that the padding has dropped down slightly, and as I've mentioned, this has really hollowed out a lot on me. Well, not hollowed out, it's flattened a lot, which then it's sagging a little bit more here, and there's a little more fullness where there once wasn't. So I have been playing, and I'm going to share it with you right now. So I'm going to go in with this dense brush. Remember, you do want something small and a little more dense. So I'm going to tap into this, and I'm going to pick up quite a bit. You'll see it on my brush. Now, I do recommend that you powder this area really well, because if you don't and you put it over moist, it's going to catch, and then you're going to have little splotches, little blotchy marks of contour. So make sure that you do go ahead and powder the area that you are going to apply another powder over. Now, if you are using cream, follow along with the same technique and don't worry about the powder. So now I want to place my blush right about here, and my contour normally would go here. Well, I don't want it to go there anymore, so I'm going to place it right here, and I'm going to follow up along my cheekbone. I'm going to turn it over, and if that's not enough, I'll put more on so you can see. I'm going to go in with a little bit more, pick it up, and there it is. And now I'm going to go ahead and place it, and notice I'm coming up and almost arcing, but I'm not going in the temple area because we lose definition in the temple area. You want that to stay out. You don't want to recede that even more. So I skip over that, and now, and if you have white roots or white full hair, you want to make sure that you're not touching your hair because it will make it orange. So it's looking, before it used to be like this. They used to do it a big backward 3. Now I'm just going here, and then I'm touching here. And if you want to do your jawline, you just come down and do it separately. Okay, and that I don't really put extra product. I just use whatever's in the brush and make sure that you get back here, because that will really chisel that jawline back out for you. If you look, you can see the shadowing. Okay, so now you want to blend that down just slightly. So I'm just going to take a softer brush. Now this one is number 5. It's a little bit softer, and I'm just going to go ahead and softly blend that down, but I'm not. See, when I put this brush here, this is what you want. Put the handle to your brush where your natural contour would be. And then I'm going to put more product on this brush so I can absolutely show you. Then you want to just go, don't bring it down. You don't want to come down here. You want to stop right here. And let me do that again. So we have our brush here, and we're staying up on the higher part of the cheekbone. But we're not going up to the eye. You don't want to go near your eye with this, all right? So now I'm just going to stay right in that area and just soften it slightly, okay? I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I will be back. I hope you can see that. Sometimes I don't put enough on for the camera, but I really want you to understand the placement, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so bronzer is placed higher up, not in my hollows anymore. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the House of Sillage blush and highlighter. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, I'm going to take a blush brush, and I also will need a fan brush. So I'm going to take the blush brush. I'm using a number 4 from Refer. I really do love these. And I'm going to go ahead. Now I'm going to over exaggerate the blush so that you can all see it. But I'm picking up enough blush for 3 or 4 cheeks. Now with this, see, I hollow out right here. I know you can't see it a lot on camera because of the light, but I hollow out and I have an actual ridge where it sinks in here, but my cheek puffs out a little bit here. So my cheekbone is right here. I do not want to go up in this area with blush. So I'm going to place my brush right there. Okay, I want you to see I'm leaving a little bit of room in between that ridge and my eye, and I'm just going to plop that blush on. Now this is over exaggerated so that you can see. And again, I am not going in this area. Years ago, we could do the apples of our cheek. That just gives us fat face. It's not really lifting. Remember, for me, skincare is all about building collagen and elasticity in my skin now, and my makeup is all about lifting and enhancing. That is it. So I'm just placing that blush right there. Okay, you can see how it has already lifted, the lift look to this one. Okay, now keep in mind, I do have high cheekbones to begin with. So I'm just going to take a little bit more and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so the blush is on, so now I need to soften that. So I'm going to go in with a softer, you can even use your powder brush, but you want to make sure you're not going crazy. You want to stay in your lane. So stay in the same area. Turn the brush sideways and just lightly go just over the blush and contour. You should not be messing around in here. Don't go above your eye, okay? And that will keep everything where you want it and give you a nice blended, lifted look. Okay, so now I need to blend my forehead slightly. So I'm just taking that powder brush and I'm just blending that slightly. You don't want to have any stop and go lines. So you want it to look like the sun kissed you, okay? Okay, so that is pretty much the eyes and the face. So we're going to move on to my lips. I'm going to use the Chanel Rose Naturel lip liner because I like the way it goes with this Playful nude. So I'm going to go ahead and line my lips. Okay, so lips are lined with the Rose Naturel. Now you could also, for this lipstick, you could go with a rosier liner, pinker liner, or something a little more on the natural nude side. You can play with a lot of different lip liners for this lipstick, so I'm going to go ahead and apply it. It's a beautiful formula. And they stay in place. They don't bleed up my lines or anything like that. These are fabulous. I have just gorgeous. Beautiful. Now the other day I did have it on with the lip gloss. Now the lip gloss is a very, very, very soft pink. This is the lip gloss. It's just a very, very sheer pink. I'll go ahead and put a little bit of it on, but I feel for my lips, when you add a gloss over the lipstick that doesn't bleed, the gloss will have a tendency to make it bleed a little. But I just want you to see by putting just a pop of it into the center of the lips, it is pretty. Okay, it has a very, very, very small doe foot, and the doe foot actually brings out a very, very small amount of product. But anyway, all right, so now we are going to go in for the highlighter, which comes in the blush collection. And it is a beautiful highlighter, but we need to keep in mind that I'm 61 years old and I have fine wrinkles. So anywhere I put a highlighter might accentuate a little bit my lines. So this, I want to go in and just gently pick up some, and I am working with a fan brush. I like a fan brush the best for highlighter, and this is number 20. And the reason why I like a fan brush is because you can really control the amount you're putting on. So now I don't want to go up where my ridge is, but I do want to place it just on top of the blush. And I'm not going in, I'm just staying on the outer part. Let me pick a little bit more up so you can really see this. And I want to stay away from the lines around my eyes. And that is the highlighter. This will help to lift the cheek up even more. So let me do the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, so there is the highlighter. You can see it sitting right here on my cheek. Now when you're using a fan brush, that's another nice thing about these. Turn it around or even just tap off all excess product and then just really buff in that small isolated area where you placed the highlighter, and it will really just buff it into a beautiful satin, and it will sit lovely on the cheeks. Okay? Really, really nice. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and curl my eyelashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, eyelashes are curled. Just use the SERUM eyelash curler, and I am opening up a brand new double-ended tube of the Revitalash. Love, love, love the primer. It's a beautiful royal blue color, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this. I like to get way down by the roots. My lashes are really doing well. I use Revitalash on my lashes, and it is amazing with consistent use of it how well it works. I am using something different on my eyebrows, and wow. Now, if you get something on you like I just did, don't bother with it. Let it dry. Just don't forget it's there. Sometimes, you know, as we get older, we forget things. Don't forget it's there. But I'm just putting a thin layer of this on. I don't even need to do this anymore because my lashes are so... they have really, really improved. There for a while, they were awful. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I came back to do the mascara on this eye. I already did this eye. So I'll just show you. I wanted to tell you that the Revitalash mascara is a drier mascara. So if you're someone that does dry mascara, you may not like this. But I like it because I think you get better control with them. Sometimes wet mascaras, they give me too thin or spidery lashes, or because I do have an aging hand now and it's not as steady as it used to be, I do find that I stab myself more with wetter mascaras. So a drier one just gives me more control. I don't know why, but it does. And that is, let me come closer so you can see. That is the mascara. And that wet blob that happened, you want to take a spoolie now and just scrape it away, or anything else that you touched. As long as it is dry, you can scrape it away and you won't mess up your makeup. So that is the Disney collection from House of Sillage. I think it gives a beautiful, beautiful look. There are so many things you can do with it. The lipstick is just beautiful. I didn't bring, there's a Playful red, which I shared in my other video. I will link that video below so you can go back and look at the whole collection as I unbox it. But it is really a nice collection, and I hope that you'll try this little, tip. If you're using cream, it would be cream, and then your blush over it, and then a little bit of highlighter. Use your finger just to touch a little bit of highlighter. But it really is a nice look, my friends. So now I forgot to almost share my blouse with you. This is another new top. It's a t-shirt with a beautiful puffy sleeve to it. It's by Antonio Milani or something. I'll link it below for you. What? What? What do you mean, what's wrong with my hair, or what did I do? I didn't do anything. Oh, you're noticing that my whites have grown. There's a reason why I did this, my friends. Lou and I are always talking about the process of growing my hair out and letting my whites come through. And I know it's very popular right now, and some women have very strong opinions of it. And believe me, I've heard the good and the bad and the ugly from some of my subscribers. But we're always talking about, he has always said to me, well, why don't you just go and buy a wig, the color of your hair, and then let's see if we like you with that white hair when you have your makeup on and everything. So he was out golfing the other morning, and I ran over to Ulta, and I was not looking for it. So I went over to Ulta, and I was looking for the new Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. So I got that, and I just was browsing the aisles, and I saw this. Now, it's not bangs or anything. It's actually one of those things you put around your ponytail to make it look like you have a bun. But I thought, oh, that's actually the color of my hair growing in, and I thought, I'm going to get that, and I'm going to put it like I have bangs, and then I'm going to just have it on when Lou comes home. So he comes home, and Lou never remembers his key. So he rings the doorbell. I go to the doorbell. I have this on, my friends. I go to the doorbell. He comes in, and he goes, the girls are always waiting for him with their tails wagging. So he goes over, and he says hello to the girls, and then he comes back, and he'll give me a kiss hello. So he came back, he gave me my kiss hello, and he, just went about his little thing. And so then I said something else. I'm trying to get his attention now. So I say something else to him. He looks right at me, and he's talking to me. And all of a sudden I said, how long is it going to be before you notice this? And he steps back and he goes, oh my God. I go, what do you think? And he goes, so then he says to me, oh, well, you look like a very young, pretty version of your mother. And I thought, okay, that's it for the white hair. Anyway, I thought you all would get a kick out of this. And for those of you who stuck around to the very end, you got to enjoy that little bit of humor. But all it is one of those little ponytail things. And I just thought, oh, okay, well, if I put it up there like that, then you can see how let me get down here lower. That's what it would look like. So I just thought that was really, really funny. Anyway, all right, my friends, so that is the end of all my craziness and the recreation of the other day's video. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you picked up some tips. My tutorials are never short because I'm always trying to teach you how to enhance your beauty. All right, my friends, that's it for today. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you as an ageless beauty. So go ahead and hit subscribe, and the bell notifies you of all the videos that I'm putting up. Until the next time, my friends, go out in the world and be lovable. I love you all. Bisous.